Hello, it's Plate Tectonics Part 2. Today our learning target is I can describe how divergent boundaries create different landforms. So by the end of this presentation, you'll know what a divergent boundary is and what's created because of this kind of plate movement. As a review, remember plates are sections of the Earth's crust, and the line between each plate is called a boundary. The picture that's shown here is kind of an exaggeration as to what's going on our planet, but it gives a clear indication of what a boundary is and what a plate is. Now, there are three ways that plates move. We've already learned about convergent boundaries. Now we're going to learn about divergent boundaries. Divergent boundaries are when the plates are moving apart. Divergent, divide. They both start with D, and it kind of would help us to remember what the plates are doing. At a divergent boundary, they are dividing. They're pulling apart. Now, when these two plates pull apart, magma will come up and start to fill in the space that's created. So along divergent boundaries, we have new crust being formed. Now, ocean basins are one thing that's being created when the divergent boundary is between two ocean plates or plates that have ocean on them. Okay, and so when an ocean basin is formed, we're getting new ocean floor created. Midocean Ridge is another thing that is formed when two plates pull apart and they're underneath the water. You get this mountain chain going. And the further these start to pull apart, that's when your ocean basin starts forming. Okay, one example of this is the MidAtlantic Ridge. So down the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, these two plates are pulling apart, and we're getting some underwater mountains going on. Iceland, you'll see up here, is one big underwater mountain, or actually it's above water now, but it started underwater, and it's formed from magma coming up, cooling and hardening on the Earth's surface. We'll look at that more in just a second. So underneath the water, underneath the Atlantic Ocean, right at the heart of the dividing plates, we've got one plate moving to the left, we've got one plate moving to the right, and so we're getting this separation between the two. Okay, these are pictures from Google, so I'm not the person taking these pictures. This picture down here is that's actually steam. The magma is so close to the ocean, the cold ocean water, that it's actually steaming as it's coming in contact, and it's cooling and hardening, creating this new ocean floor. Now, rift valleys are what happens when land is being pulled apart. Okay, so a deep valley happens on the land. So in Africa, right around the Horn of Africa, we've got the horn is pulling away from the rest of the African continent. So one plate is here, one plate is over here, and then you get this U-shaped valley in between. Okay, so it's being stretched thin here. Think of if you're chewing gum and you take a piece and you pull it away from your mouth, and the farther it gets, the droopier it gets in the middle. That's kind of what's happening here. The land is being stretched so much so that it's drooping in the middle. Okay, again, photo from Google. Now, Iceland, here's a picture of Iceland. This is not a Googled photo. In 2019, I had the pleasure of visiting Iceland with my dad. So this is actually part of Iceland that you can photograph where you're at the plate division. So as you can see, the Eurasian plate is off here in the distance. The North American plate here is where I'm standing. And then this is the valley that goes in between them. So this is what's being developed as the two plates are pulling apart. Now at times, you can see again, this is Iceland. This is a picture that my dad took. You can see here's a plate here, here's a plate here. They're pulling apart, and this is actually steam. It's not clouds, it's steam coming from water that's on the surface being heated by the magma that's so close to the surface in here. It's heating the water and causing it to boil. Okay. This is a lot like what's happening at Yellowstone. The magma is so close to the surface of the earth in Yellowstone that it boils any surface water that happens to be there, creating a geyser. All right, let's review. So divergent boundaries are where plates are moving away from each other. New crust is being formed. And the landforms that are created are ocean basins and mid-ocean ridges. Those are underneath the water. And then rift valleys are where the land is actually being pulled apart. Now, hopefully you have met our learning target and you can describe how divergent boundaries create these different landforms. If you can't, please watch this video over or go to YouTube and search for some videos on divergent boundaries. Have a good day.